title and ambition here are important. I believe if we don't get our approach to dealing with harassment, abuse and intimidation right, and continue to just accept the toxicity that pervades politics as the norm, it will damage democracy. I hope we can have a broad debate, as I know people have different things to say. As councillors, we often operate in an unhealthy environment, particularly online, where aggression and hostility is seen mostly as normal, part and parcel of the jobs that we've chosen. I can't think of any other career or job where you'd accept some of what seems fairly normal standard behaviour that you get in politics. There's a yawning apathy, anger and distrust with politicians and anything establishment, the council, the government, for example. A culture of blame, highly divisive issues, a pandemic where maybe being constrained has left some of us more irritable and quick to judge. And we're not always helped by media fueled by clickbait, wanting news with goodies and baddies, a binary narrative. And of course there's the Wild West, our untamable and pretty much unrein-backable online world of social media. Together with councils scaling back face-to-face services, MPs and government being naturally more distant, councillors often just become the front line for all those to go to who don't feel heard or are angry or sick of everything and everyone. We must also remember the horrific murders of Joe Cox, David Amis, and some may remember Councillor Andy Pennington, who sacrificed his life protecting the MP Nigel Jones. I, like many of us here too, feel driven in my part to driving the toxicity and hate from politics and in making sure that whatever my political contributions are, they'll be made respectfully and with careful intention and truth. So what is the answer? Well, I believe it should be simple. We must all play our part in setting the tone. And what I believe is missing is leadership, that final principle of public life, leadership from the council and leadership from us as councillors. If we act with truth and decency and set a high bar with our conduct, we'll inspire trust from those we serve, and I truly believe we can dial down the toxicity and disaffection, and importantly rein in more swiftly any abuse or harassment. Leadership was seen by Lord Nolan as the overarching principle, critical to the other six, and that holders of public life should exhibit these principles in their own behaviour, but also be willing to challenge poor behaviour wherever it occurs. And I think this principle of leadership should guide us the most. This is from a report from the Committee on Standards in Public Life. Sticking to these principles,
30 seconds.
Responsibility for anyone working in the public sector or delivering public services on behalf of the taxpayer. But people don't operate in a vacuum. Organisations can hinder or facilitate ethical behaviour, which is why organisational culture is so important. I wrote in my leaflet in 2021, I don't want to change to fit the system. I want to change the system to fit more people like me. And if we're going to get more women, people from different backgrounds to step into these sorts of roles, we have to challenge this toxic culture that's so normalised. Thank you.